Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. Due to the pressure mounted by Nnamdi Kanu over the actualization of Biafra and the power that Nnamdi Kanu have been exuded, especially when it comes to social media influence, it has caused a lot of reactions here and there. Of course, Femi Falana, the senior advocate of Nigeria, have decided to tell the federal government to do this, especially to him, and so that Nigerians do not suffer over so much, especially when it comes to the issue of social media ban and all that. And he said, look, what is holding for the federal government from doing all this to Nnamdi Kanu, and they should exonerate Nigerians as a whole over the roles Nnamdi Kanu has been playing thus far. But before we go into the news proper and for the analysis, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Okay, let us hear what Femi Falana has got to say over this issue. Human rights lawyer and leader of the Alliance for Surviving COVID-19 and Beyond, as ASCAB, Femi Falana, says rather than heap the blame of Nnamdi Kanu on Nigerians, the federal government should make moves to arrest him. Kanu, the separatist leader of the indigenous people of Biafra (IPOB), is known for inciting statements on social media. The federal government also cited the IPOB leader tweets as part of the reason it banned the activities of the social media giant, that's Twitter. Well, Twitter had earlier deleted President Muhammadu Buhari's controversial tweet on civil war for violating its rules, an action the government claimed to be to undermine Nigerians' corporate existence. Nigerians have continued to make use of the app, bypassing internet restrictions placed by the telecommunications operators. However, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, has ordered the prosecution of anyone violating the ban. In his reaction, while appearing on African Independence Television (AIT) on Monday, Falana lambasted the federal government, insisting that the ban on the microblogging platform was not well thought through. The human rights lawyer, when asked about the excuse of the federal government, cited that inciting tweets of Kanu said the ban was not justified. This government enjoyed the goodwill of Nigerians before it came into power. It promised to end insecurity, fight corruption to a standstill. If one by one these problems have not been solved or have been compounded, they does have a duty and a right under the law to turn up the government. You are not getting it right. If you are talking of a nihilist or a nihilist organizations or frustrated young people trying to pour out invectives on government, and many of us publicly and privately criticize the gentleman you mentioned now, that's Nnamdi Kanu. But what is the duty of the government? This young man is hiding in another country. Why are you allowing this? Now you are now blaming Nigerians for demanding the right to access to information. According to Falana, citizens can only complain about Kanu's dangerous tweets and cannot go beyond that. You were trying him. He escaped from the country. He jumped bail. What steps have you taken? Have you lodged proceedings in the United Kingdom to have him brought back here? The human rights lawyer queried. You also explained that the late Chief Anthony Inahuro, who was standing trial for treasonable felony, brought back from the United Kingdom. That's using a case study now. So why do you blame us? That's in profound respect for inefficiency on the part of the government. And I think this is the issue. You also suggested ways the government could have handled its concerns against Twitter instead of controversial ban. Twitter can be sued to court if it doesn't appreciate that the security of Nigeria should not be threatened, and that it is if the organization has threatened the security of the country, Falana also said. Okay, in a nutshell, Femi Falana, the human rights activist, is saying that the government should go ahead and repatriate Nnamdi Kanu. The long story short of all this whole English is that have the federal government made proceedings to meet the UK government to repatriate Nnamdi Kanu. Now, if you go by all these things he has said initially, don't forget that this whole thing began during the time when Nnamdi Kanu had actually believed that the country was not being favorable to the indigenous of Ndibos. And for that reason, he said, look, if you cannot give us the right standing, why don't you let us go? It all began here in Nigeria. Then bit by bit, he started gaining momentum, he started getting acceptance from the Igbos because he was making a lot of sense, being the fact that there were so many loopholes in the government that he was actually leveraging on, which was making a lot of sense to the Igbos. Fast forward, he joined Masob, later left Masob to IPOB, formed his own IPOB. He tried to be, cordial about it. It didn't go down well. Eventually, things went so bad. Eventually, things went so bad to the point that the military on security issues came down, during the trial period, and which made him to, for his own dear life, he had to leave. Fast forward, his lawyer was actually stationed in Nigeria to see how things would go on. Severally, his lawyer has come on out saying that his life has been under threat over the same issue. And now some quarters are calling that he left, he committed a treasonable felony, he jumped bail. Other quarters are saying he didn't jump bail, he only left simply because his life was at risk. Now, he has always said this openly, that they want him to come, because there was a time he actually opened up and said he would come on one condition: if they will guarantee his safety. And when they told the lawyer the judge who was in charge of the case, I could still remember the judge said the best place of safety is to put you in prison. That way he's very sure that nobody will harm him, that he cannot guarantee him any other place but to be in prison. So if he wants to come, that she can guarantee his safety by putting him behind bars. That way he will be guaranteed of safety. So a lot of controversies. Don't forget, there's also pressure on the senator who shorted him, that Senator Nnamdi, for shorting him. So now, so many things going on. He now realized, okay, we have been asking for referendum, we've asking for, so right now things have gone haywire. He's not, even at some point I could still hear during one of his broadcasts, he said even if it means him going to ICC eventually after this whole thing, that he's ready for, but let the Biafra, the agitation he started with, let it be achieved. Now, with all these things going on, and with Femi Falana, the senior advocate of Nigeria, saying instead of punishing the whole Nigeria over the tweets and activities of Nnamdi Kanu, why don't they lodge complaints for the UK government to repatriate him? Don't forget that Nnamdi Kanu has dual citizenship. He is a UK British citizen, okay, and also he doubles as a Nigerian citizen, but he will tell he's not a Nigerian, that he's a Biafran, technically speaking. So we have a situation in our hands. And now, Femi Falana, senior advocate of Nigeria, said to solve this problem so that Nigerians will not go through so much is to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu comes back to answer for his crimes. This is a very serious issue. But let's quickly feel one or two impacts of what Nigerians are saying, because Nigerians, of course, have reacted to this very strong decision or suggestion that Femi Falana has given to the federal government to do to Nnamdi Kanu. And I'm very sure that his followers will definitely not agree at all to what he is saying. Well, this one here is saying jump which bill? He never jumped any bill. They're actually after him. He never jumped any bill at all. Didn't you hear the operation Atilogu dance? Which one is Atilogu dance again? I think you actually meant the dance, the military operation then that took place. I don't think it was Atilogu dance. This one here is saying